some internet sleuths had noticed that Brett Cooper's mom, a woman named Diane Cooper, was liking some interesting posts. And I'm going to read you which post it was that she liked on Instagram. It was a comment that was being directed to Reagan. It reads, "No matter how many acting classes you take or watch Brett's old videos, you will never be Brett. It's sad that you took the money and snubbed your best friend. I hope the amount of money DW offered was worth your friendship with Brett. You lost a good one."
The content creator world is a dog-eat-dog type of world. You literally can't trust anyone. So listen, I don't like the girl. I think she's a racist, but I do feel for that part of the story that, yeah, quite literally cannot trust anyone. Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Ariana Jasmine, and today we're going to be talking about Brett Cooper leaving Daily Wire and Candace Owens' reaction to it. If Candace Owens has no haters, I am dead. I don't care how much she advocates for Palestine. I don't care how much she admits that she was an Islamophobe and she's seen the light about Muslim and Middle Eastern people. I don't fucking like her, and I want to make that very clear before we start this video. But anyways, make sure you like, comment, subscribe for more videos like this, and let's get into it.
10 days ago, Brett Cooper announced in a somewhat emotionally strained video, I think that's putting it lightly, that she was leaving the Daily Wire. It was actually her and the CEO of a Daily Wire, Jeremy Boring, in this combo video. Let's just reflect on that. Take a listen.
Hey guys, some of you have heard the rumors online, and the rumors are mostly true. Today, December 10th, will be my last day hosting the comment section and working for the Daily Wire. It is not true that I am being forced out. It was my own choice to leave. And believe me, this is bittersweet. And now for some final thoughts from the God King himself, Jeremy Boring.
Bittersweet indeed. We're sad to see Brett go, but we're excited to see her take the next step in her journey. Brett's an amazing talent, both as a personality and as an actress. It's been a pleasure to see her bring the comment section.
Wait, Brett's an actress? Oh, wow. Okay. Are these real movies, or like, are they Hollywood movies, or? I don't really understand this. I guess she's an actress in productions that I've literally never fucking heard about, but whatever.
We just released Lady Ballers, which you all should go watch on Daily Wire Plus, but my character puts on like full native garb. I'm not trying to be.
This is something you can't unsee. Okay. Listen, I shouldn't be laughing. But I'm sorry, I'm so shook. I'm so shook. What the fuck is this?
Be Native American. Michael is trying to be Native American.
Wait, so that was supposed to be Native American? Why does she have braids though? This is so wildly offensive. This is insane.
In it, but I do have on like Native African garb. And I posted it as a joke in promotion of the movie. And so many people were commenting and saying, "Oh my God, why would you do that? You know, you talk about, racism all the time. Now you're making fun of people." Bruh. We are making fun of those people. It is satire. We just released Lady Ballers, which you all.
When I say these people deserve a special place in hell, I'm not fucking joking. Just imagine you come here and you are literally living on indigenous land that you are not from, and you make fun of their regalia.
These last 3 years, and her performance in the Pendragon cycle is sensational. I'm certain that whatever Brett creates next will be filled with the same joy and laughter and heart that she's brought to all of her work at the Daily Wire. And we wish her nothing but the best.
So yes, it very much read like an ISIS beheading video. It seemed like they were being held hostage potentially by their lawyers. But
bitch, only you thought that read like an ISIS terrorist video. Who the fuck says that or thinks that? She said, yeah, it looked like an ISIS terrorist hostage video. Quite literally, no one thought that but you. Quite literally. And see, this is why I get so pissed off when people think she's the crusader for Middle Eastern people. This woman has so much internalized Islamophobia. Just because she goes on Piers Morgan and she's like, Palestinians are dying, that doesn't mean that she gets it or she's for the cause, you fucking idiot. God, this shit pisses me off so much.
But as far as splits go, it was handled professionally. But then there was a ton of innuendo. And I should say, by the way, this innuendo was leading up to the moment of the split. People were suggesting that actually Brett Cooper had gotten knifed by her best friend and maid of honor, which, by the way, fact-checked true. It was indeed her maid of honor that was announced to be taking over the comment section, a young woman named Reagan Conrad. And the internet was very upset about this, but there was no confirmation that came from Brett per se until after her announcement. Then the internet started interneting and recognizing some things. First and foremost, they recognized that Brett Cooper unfollowed Reagan. Okay, that is a major sign. Obviously, this woman was in her wedding. in April. Now, all of a sudden, Brett Cooper has completely unfollowed her. That kind of signaled that a little more went on behind the scenes. On top of that, Brett Cooper also unfollowed the Daily Wire, and she unfollowed Jeremy Boring. So, yeah, like I said, some blood in the water. But then the ultimate confirmation came. The mother of all bombs. And when I say mother, I mean the mother of Brett Cooper. Some internet sleuths had noticed that Brett Cooper's mom, a woman named Diane Cooper, was liking some interesting posts. And I'm going to read you which post it was that she liked on Instagram. It was a comment that was being directed to Reagan. It reads, "No matter how many acting classes you take or watch Brett's old videos, you will never be Brett. It's sad that you took the money and snubbed your best friend. I hope the amount of money DW offered was worth your friendship with Brett. You lost a good one."
The content creator world is a doggy dog type of world. I've had people who are content creators who I genuinely considered my friends who have stabbed me in the back like I have never seen before. It's part of the reason why I don't have a lot of friends. I maybe have 3 or 4 friends that I can count on one hand that I trust. And it's not because I'm scared they're going to take my place or anything, because I don't have a spot at a big network or anything like that, but you literally can't trust anyone. So I don't like the girl. I think she's a racist, but I do feel for that part of, this story that, yeah, quite literally cannot trust anyone in this field.
So yeah, a little bit of drama went down. Moms don't hold back at all on the internet. And if this is how it went down, obviously you could imagine you're a mom. It's the big day. Your daughter's getting married. She's next to her best friend, someone you think is her best friend, Reagan, whatever, walking down the aisle next to her. And then all of a sudden, just completely stabbed in the back. Completely crazy. But it turned out that really, if you think about it, didn't really matter whether or not it happened, if everyone was going to move on from it until, okay, like I said, friendships end, they fall apart, women are awful. You listen to my podcast, I say all the time, women are awful. I've seen women do so many awful things. But what happened next was something that I think none of us were actually thinking was real. I thought that it was internet conspiracy. It was so shocking because the internet very strongly signaled, whatever you do, Daily Wire, don't do this, right? Don't try to have this young woman, Reagan, pretend to be Brett, because that would be very weird, obviously. You cannot train somebody to be somebody else and think that the public is not going to notice this. And like I said, I thought it was a conspiracy. I said there's absolutely no way that management is going to roll out Brett Cooper clone. If they're going to do the show with Reagan, they're going to build a different show around her that features her personality and not Brett's. And like I said, there were so many people on the internet signaling to them, don't do this. It's super creepy. Here is just one example of that. This YouTuber is called Decoy Voice, and he really spells it out. Take a listen.
I was talking to a girl with the family I was staying with before. She's like an 18-year-old chick that loves Brett Cooper. She's a total super fan. And she was like, yeah, the Reagan episodes are kind of weird.
Welcome back to the comment section. So obviously, I talk car brand into a whole new stratosphere of woke confusion. I'm concerned about feminism. I'm concerned about the growing gender divide. But before we get into today's episode, make sure you like this video. Before we dive into this episode, though, make sure that you like this video if you have not already. If you've not already.
As I understand, 2 best friends are going to have similar mannerisms, but you can't convince me this isn't done entirely on purpose, as this just looks like when 2 people pick the same character in Street Fighter, where they have all the same moves with a different color scheme.
I should also offer here that the title of that video is "This Show is Creepy Now." As I said, it was explicit, video after video, millions of views on all of these videos, and the comment section of all of these videos agreeing, just being like, no, they cannot produce a clone. They got to give this girl her own show. But for whatever reason, Daily Wire ignored all of those signs, and they very quickly, I feel like in 48 hours, turned around the comment section and just gave us like Brett Cooper, but not 2.0. In fact, the internet kept calling her a Temu Brett, essentially saying that this was like the Chinese knockoff version of Brett Cooper. They did not regroup. They did not rebrand the show. They even kept the girl wearing headphones, kind of like the same dorm setting, which was kind of strange because Brett Cooper, of course, is just 22. She began the show when she was 18. So this sort of like college vibe and the headphones made sense. Reagan's 29 years old. This is an adult adult woman, and she's kind of cosplaying a teenager in a dorm room.
Okay, so one thing about this, I just want to say there's a lot of people in the political space that cosplay a lot younger than they actually are. And I'm not going to spill the tea on them because I'm not trying to get canceled. But I do know a lot of people that are like, oh, I'm Gen Z, but really they're like 32 or 33. And I know because I know all the tea, but you know. So this is not a new phenomenon. This is something that people on the left and the right do consistently, because being a Gen Zer kind of like speaks to the newer generation and what we think about, you know, the future of our world. Meanwhile, being a millennial doesn't have that same, you know, grab or the same gravitation that Gen Z would have per se. Regardless of that, first of all, Daily Wire has a lot of fucking money. They have a lot of money. They're very rich. So the fact that the Daily Wire is cloning Brett Cooper and not investing in a new studio is very odd to me. It kind of just shows me how disposable people are to them, which once again is not something that's only exclusive to the right side of politics. People on the right and the left, as well as mass media, are treated very disposable. Once you don't make the ratings or the views, or you don't make them the money that you used to, they cut you out. Once you hold them accountable, they cut you out. We see the same thing with TYT. So, you know, it's not something that's new. This exists also on both sides. But, you know, I feel like starting political commentary when you're 18 is a really bold move, I will say, because my political views have shifted a lot since I was 18. And it wasn't until I actually finished university to where I was completely radicalized. And I was like, wait, a lot of the things that I was taught was actually lies. I took a lot of ethnic studies classes. I learned a lot about, you know, not just the indigenous communities, but also the slave trade that happened, not just in the US, but also, you know, places like the Dominican Republic, Haiti, things like that, you know, the sugarcane industry, whatever. I learned about so much. And I just think if you do want to be a political commentator, being 18 and being a political commentator is a risk. It's a huge risk because a lot of things could change. And when your source of income is based on your viewpoint, your specific viewpoint in politics, you know, it's a lot harder to switch from the right to the left, to switch from left to the right, because we see left to the right all the time. Right to the left is not as common because there's a lot more money in right. You can make a lot more money. There's a lot more opportunities if you're a Republican.
Super awkward, and we can say it was an abject failure. I mean, let's just go through some of these numbers, okay? So this has been 10 days. In 10 days, the comment section has lost 200,000 subscribers, okay? So when Brett Cooper made her announcement, the channel had 4.51 million subscribers. Today, it just keeps going down every time this Reagan girl posts. It's at 4.29 million subscribers. I'm just showing you guys this quick snapshot that I took of the channel. So this girl has produced 2 videos. This one, which is about the Duke lacrosse scandal, has been up for just under 2 days. Could not crack 100,000 views. She's got 71,000 views. The video behind.
Okay, to be fair, she posted something saying Luigi Mangione is not a hero. That's not really going to bode well, even on the right. We saw Ben Shapiro and Matt Walsh say the same thing, and they basically got attacked in all of their comments because people were like, hey, we all support Luigi Mangione. We hate insurance companies. So I do think that the video topic that she posted also didn't do her any good. That being said, though, people are still probably pissed off at her, but still.
Behind it, even more abysmal, 42,000 views. So you imagine if it is true that she snaked her best friend and just took her 4.5 million subscribers, and she can't even get 100,000 of them to watch her video. And it's a small video. These are like 7-minute clips. These usually play very well because people have YouTube brain and they're not able to actually follow anything longer than 7 minutes. And the internet is saying absolutely not. I mean, it has gotten so bad that Benny Johnson, who is a friend to sort of everyone, actually did a video on the comment section of the comment section because he couldn't believe how much of a failure that it had been. And that video that Benny Johnson made is almost at 1 million views. Comments are exceptional, but again, all saying the exact same thing. This guy, Frank, writes, Brett Cooper is the comment section. That is horrible. This girl, Fiona, writes, yeah, I unsubscribed from the comment section. I'm not going to watch a chick being absolutely inauthentic, copying her friend who used to be in that show. The imitation is cringe. Dylan Smith writes, if I had to guess, Reagan offered to, quote unquote, be Brett Cooper for less money. If this is the case, then the Daily Wire may learn a hard truth that people and personalities aren't always replaceable. And that's a great thing to think about. Like, actually, why is this failing? How did it hit? How did it fail so hard? And I think the easy answer is we are in a market right now where the social economy is authenticity. You have to be authentic in whatever it is that you are bringing to the market, especially when it comes to Gen Zers. They sniff that stuff out faster than anybody else. They are the internet's culture. And I think the second piece of that is America doesn't like a coronation. What was really shocking to me when I realized they were actually doing this, and this wasn't like internet innuendo, but like actually they were just going to replicate Brett Cooper, was we just went through an entire election cycle where Kamala Harris was just coronated. They just were like, hey, we're going to make Kamala Harris, and you have to just like Kamala Harris. And it's because Beyonce and Taylor Swift endorse her, and they say that that's good. And we forcefully rejected that. We said, no, actually, you cannot just coronate Kamala Harris. People have to actually run and earn their spot. And Trump has been running, it seems, for the last 4 years. And you're just going to give Kamala Harris 107 days and a couple of celebrity endorsements and just force feed her to us. I would think that Daily Wire would have seen that lesson, that it doesn't really work like that, and would have said, okay, we can't do that. If we think Reagan's this amazing talent, she's going to have to actually earn her keep. She can't just be coronated. And I think this person's comment perfectly encapsulates that.
I don't agree with what she just said, because I don't think they would have had to coronate someone to earn that spot. I don't think Brett Cooper necessarily earned that spot. She got that job when she was 18. I mean, maybe she did some stuff when she was 15 or 16 or 17, but she got that job when she was 18. I'm assuming it was probably her first job, maybe her second. Maybe she worked at a grocery store or something before that. I don't know. But it's one of those things where it's like, she doesn't even have to show or prove that she's worthy of it. She just can't mock her best friend. That's literally all it is. If they gave her her own show, her own identity, her own format, it would have probably read a lot better. People would have been pissed off, but they would have eventually been like, all right, this is a new person. Maybe Daily Wire is trying a new thing. That's fine, right? I mean, I don't think she has to necessarily prove herself. I don't think this is a presidential race. It's fucking Daily Wire. I feel like if you're a young, pretty girl that can spew the right bullshit, they'll hire you. I mean, how hard can it be if they hired an 18-year-old to have her own show?
At Little Miss Stamper, and she is again commenting under the Benny Johnson video, she wrote, "There's just something gross about sitting in a spot that you didn't earn, talking to an audience that you didn't earn, on a show that you didn't build, not to mention she was your friend." That's it. Like, totally, the internet is essentially saying she didn't earn these 4.65 million subscribers. So, yes, does the Daily Wire own the channel? Yes. Can the Daily Wire basically say, we're forcing our Kamala Harris and you guys are all going to love her? Sure. But the market is going to respond to that. The market has responded to that, and the market is telling them no. So the question now is, what was Daily Wire thinking? This was a piece that I couldn't wrap my head around. I genuinely am so shocked by this decision, given everyone, again, on the internet saying, please don't. We were just watching a car crash in slow motion. I was going, no, is there anything we can do to stop this? And the answer was no. The management said, we're doing it anyways. And I thought to myself, was it maybe advertiser agreements? Was it they had to have a show every day and maybe some advertisers would have pulled out? Was it being motivated? I don't think likely. They could have easily taken a pause. It's the end of the year. They should have. If I was advising, I would have been like, take a full pause. It's Christmas. It's holiday time. No one's going to think, let's come back in the new year with something fresh. They didn't do that. And I don't think it was advertising dollars that was influencing it. Somebody said to me, maybe it was just continuity. They were thinking as long as they just had a show the next day, people would be used to listening to Brett Cooper and would just be back. Maybe, but again, not what I took away from this. What I really think it came down to is the Daily Wire is run by people who were formerly in theater, right? So you have Jeremy Boring, the company's called Bent Key. The reason it's called Bent Key is because he wears a bent key around his neck. And that key, he once wrote in a Daily Wire piece, was the key from the playhouse that he used to work at. He was an aspiring actor. He talks about how he failed in Hollywood. And so his background is in theater. And recently, Ben Shapiro went viral because he gave this review of Wicked that was very professional, talking about people singing in their head voice, and the internet was amazed that he was so up to date, I guess, on just theater stuff. And I think what you have are a lot of people, their background is in theater, and they thought through this equation like theater kids. They were just like, we needed an understudy. Reagan knows the part. Reagan knows how to do this. Reagan's been the producer. Reagan, Brett's leaving. Can you just be Brett? And it was just an accidental miss. Genuinely just totally did not read the room right. Does not.
Okay, listen, I would say it's natural selection, because if you don't understand that making someone's best friend clone them on a show would not work, are you stupid or are you stupid? I don't give a fuck that you did theater. I don't give a fuck that you came from a theater background. This is common sense. Every person has their own brand. Every person has their own personality, their own way that they show up. If I came on Instagram and I tried to copy Hassan word for word and to mock everything he does and imitate it and try to be big like him, it wouldn't work, because I'm not being authentic to myself. People are not going to look at the budget girl Hassan. They're going to look at the real Hassan, and they're probably going to make fun of me while I do it. This is common basic sense.
Not realize that podcasting is not the same as theater. You really can't do that. They're not looking for an understudy. They're looking for a real person. And they have to believe that that person is genuine, and they have to believe that that person is authentic. And in that way, I think they very much set up Reagan to fail. But also Reagan set herself up to fail, because if somebody came to me and said, just be your best friend, I'd be like, no. I love this opportunity. This is amazing, but I'm going to have to be myself and figure out who that is and if it's enough. And I think given all the toxicity there, it's strange that they went with Reagan. I think it was super easy for them to just find someone else on TikTok, somebody else with their own personality that's getting tons of views, who has the it factor. And that is what I want to say conclusively. You know, Brett Cooper has the it factor. Nobody really knows what the it factor is, but you know when you see it. And I remember the first time I saw a Brett Cooper video, actually, she was working at the Daily Wire, and I had no idea she was working at Daily Wire. And my husband kept saying, do you know this girl, Brett Cooper, that works there? And I'm like, no, I've never seen her. And he showed me her video, and the first time I saw it, I said, this girl just has the it factor. Just didn't feel that way when you watch Reagan perform. It's like, okay, this isn't the it factor. This feels like the forced it factor. This feels like the friend of the it factor. I just don't see how this is going to.
This feels like the friend of the it factor. That's literally the situation. So that's kind of a stupid analysis. But anyways, going beyond that. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to be more. I'm just being a hater of Candace Owens right now. So let me run it back turbo. I don't think it's the it factor. I think it's simply the fact that they booted mini Ben Shapiro girl version and they brought in her best friend. I literally think that's all it is. I don't think it's this it factor type of thing. I really don't. I don't think she had the it factor. She just kind of looked like a mini clone of Ben Shapiro spewing the same bullshit. So you can hate on her and say she doesn't have the it factor. I can make the same argument that you don't have the it factor either, but it goes beyond that in the fact that they just really did a colossal fuck up with this move, and it's really all that comes down to
be a successful plan. They should have just regrouped, gone under. If I'm giving them advice today, shut it down fast. When the market tells you no, you're not going to be able to ever force the markets. And this is a pretty resounding no. And lastly, what I will say is the lesson in all of this is actually something that I learned from Matt Walsh. He always says, just because you can doesn't mean you should. It's a great little life tidbit. Like, you absolutely can. You own this channel, you can just find.
That was literally the most basic thing I've ever heard, and I've heard at least 10 people in my life say that. I feel like that's what parents tell their children. Hey, just because you can go in the mud and jump doesn't mean you should, right? I don't understand why she's attributing this to fucking Matt Walsh.
A friend of, and put them up there and say, so what, deal with it. But you shouldn't. You shouldn't, because you should know that people are not going to respond well to that. And just because you contractually, legally, and from a business perspective can, doesn't mean that that's ultimately going to be good for you and your company. So that is the lesson in all of this. The comment section, I would say, is officially over.
This whole Brett Cooper thing is pretty funny, actually, I will say. I feel like Republicans are kind of like losing it. You know what I mean? I want to see this New Girls videos.
I should put a warning in the beginning of this video. If there are children around, get them out. This is not for their ears. I have been watching this story of a young woman unfold over the past several weeks online. She's been slowly growing in popularity, and her story seems so absurd that I did not and could not believe that it was true. Then I learned that it was very much true, but I didn't want to just do a story covering her and giving her even more attention. That is until I learned.
I mean, I think we have more respect for her if she addressed the comment section, and if Reagan had her own identity and not copying Brett's. Look, when Brett acts like Brett, it's normal. When you do it, it's creepy. Please stop. Damn, a lot of people are just hating on her. It's hard to want to click on the video, but I love the comments. This young lady is seriously hurting inside. I pray she finds some self-worth and peace. 95% of the views on this video is people clicking so they could go to the comment section and ignore everything she says. That's just so, honestly, I'm not a fan of any of these people. I think they're raging racist, but this is a very sad and pathetic thing to do. Especially if that's like your close friend. You just took her job, you took her channel, and you became a political commentator. Let me just say this. It is so hard to learn. Like when so I have a degree in journalism and a minor in political science. And for me, it took me a year to figure out how to film my videos on TikTok and Instagram in a way where it resonated with people and myself and it aligned with my personality and characteristics, right? You cannot just put someone in front of a fucking camera and just edit it out and make them seem interesting. You can't do that because that takes a lot of time and effort. It's a process that you have to go through yourself and you have to be very consistent with it. You can't just make one video every week and then another video another week and another video here. Like that's not how it works. You have to be very consistent. You have to try out so many different things and see what works, what doesn't. And for them to just kind of take this girl and plop her in front of a set and just kind of force feed her to a fan base that is used to someone else, it's a little insane. If you guys were actually serious, you wouldn't do some stupid shit like this. All right, thank you so much for watching my YouTube channel. My name is Ariana Jasmine. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment for more videos like this. Thank you so much for helping me reach 10K subscribers. I love you all, and I'll see you guys next time.